And now that MITA continues to have a bigger and bigger presence, I feel like more and more of our people are around, and it just becomes more fun. But yeah, we've been able to connect with a lot of old friends, meet a lot of good new folks, and it seems like overall this year, the general attitude and excitement is increased. It's lifted from last year. I think there's a little less people here this year, but more people that are a little more excited and engaged for what's next.
It seems like that there's a lot less like looky-loos and a lot more people who are actually involved in the marketplace who are here.
And it all changed quickly this year. I remember I was in at Benzinga in Miami in April, and everybody was like, the world's on fire, everything's over, pack up your bags, go home. And then we were in Chicago for Benzinga a few months ago. Completely different. Sunshine and rainbows, everything's exciting. We're coming back to life. It's like those things were 6 months apart, you know, not even. But it's cool. I think it's been a really good and exciting year for everybody.
It goes in waves.
It sure does, and it always will.
We are back at MJBizCon 2023 with another episode of MITA Unshackled, previewing some of what I call the hometown heroes today. And also shout out to Pure 5. Shout out to Pure 5. We could not have become a great podcast without George and his helping Pure 5. Last night we won an award at the MJs. We are now an award-winning podcast, whatever that means, but we love it. And I'm here with my co-host for today, co-host in training.
Co-host in training, yes. But after this, am I still going to be in training?
When you're ready to take over, you tell me.
I think I'm taking over already. Stanislava.
Yes, and but let me introduce. Oh, no, you're going to be hosting today too.
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
At least right now.
Awesome. I'll turn it over to the ladies, but you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Sarah Spillman with DIZPOT.
Yes, and we love DIZPOT. Of course, we have this natural partnership with DIZPOT Community, a packaging organization, but they're also concerned about community development. They're concerned about you. They're concerned about education. And they're concerned about building the cannabis culture in general. And we love that about DIZPOT.
Absolutely.
We just had Advanced Nutrients. It's another company that has that similar mindset. And that's corporate, I don't know what it's called, corporate accountability, what is their word?
CSR, corporate responsibility.
Corporate responsibility. See, I'm not, what do I know? Yeah, and I'm sure Hanna and Dutchie have a lot of stuff to do in that capacity as well. You guys have always supported us, which is a way of giving back to the Arizona community. So we appreciate that. And let's introduce Wes and tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll talk a little bit about Dutchie and Hanna, and then go into MJBizCon.
Cool, yeah, of course. Well, I am not a host today, so I'm a little outnumbered.
Yes.
So
ladies have at 'em.
But
I'll just sit back and watch.
But thank you for having me, Dimitri. Always a good time. Lovely to be here with my amazing co-host here. So yeah, I'm Wesley. Arizona local hero, legend, as you said, hometown here. All of us loved. Well, soon you. We're gonna get you down there. Don't worry.
That's what I love to hear.
But yeah, Dutchie pre-roll down in Arizona, Hanna, a couple of dispensaries, and we've been working with MITA for a while now. Always been huge supporters of what we do, and a really great way to help us speak with the community, get engaged with the people who are looking for what we have to offer. And every time we go to a MITA event, we always leave feeling rewarded because not only do we get to interact and work with such amazing people, in the Arizona community, but you guys always just draw the right crowd for us. It's really cool to see. And, when the customers come out and all of our partners, it's just an easy time to get together. And clearly, you guys are winning awards now. You're doing something right.
What is Hanna and what is Dutchie?
Of course, yeah. So Hanna is a dispensary chain in Arizona. We have dispensary down in Green Valley near Tucson, one in Phoenix as well. Very committed to the community, as you said. A big part of our mission there is providing the best experience in the sense of bringing people together, and everything we do, we try and provide something back to the community. We do a lot of Roundup programs. Obviously, we're doing our recycling programs. We're trying to bring...
What's a Roundup program?
Great question.
You know?
I'm not sure.
So,
Let's hear it from Wes.
Sorry. I'm very much like a child. I don't know anything. So it's easy for me to ask questions, and I just stop. What's around it?
So back to corporate social responsibility, we are trying to find ways to give back, because in cannabis, sometimes it's hard to do with a lot of the tax rules and, banking issues. You don't get the same benefit that other corporations do out of that. So really, we try and find opportunities that do more than just give money back. We try and bring people together, education. A Roundup program is just coming into our dispensary and saying, I want to round up my purchase to the nearest dollar. That's going to get donated to a charity.
Oh, interesting.
So this month,
I like
for
that.
November, we were donating to
that is.
veterans. Yeah. For consumers to kind of provide their help and be part of something. So yeah, on the other side of things, Dutchie pre-rolls, that's really where a lot of my excitement comes from. As you know, Dimitri, and I think a lot of people in Arizona are aware, we just launched a new brand. We are focused all on terpenes, which I'm super stoked about. I don't want to sit here and talk about that all day. I just want to say that if you guys aren't looking into terpenes enough right now, please do, because a lot of new research coming out about how it's shifting our experience and how it's kind of guiding. And I'm not an expert necessarily, but I've read enough to know that it's doing something, and we should all be kind of paying attention to that. So we're trying to put a focus on that with Dutchie now and give people just more information to learn about what's in their product, so they can learn, what's going to work best for them.
You guys prepare your first questions, and I'm going to quickly tell a story about Dutchie. Because corporate, brand, legacy, reputation, story is everything. When Dutchie first came out, I think it was 2016, 15, 17. I forgot the year, but I introduced one of the Dutchie originals people to a MS patient. And I said, could you bring them some cannabis? Because I knew they were broke and he needed cannabis. And the Dutchie people showed up with a box like this, filled with cannabis. No questions asked. It must have been worth thousands of dollars of cannabis, and they just gave it to the MS patient.
Wow.
Nobody knew about it. It was a breakfast. It was subtle. It was quick. But I'll never forget that. That was the beginning of my interaction with the Dutchie people. And that's how you build a legacy. That's how you build a reputation. That's how you build a story. That's how you build a brand. So a lot of people love Dutchie because I'm sure that for every that instance that nobody knew about, I've been telling a few people about it lately, there's 100 more, 1,000 more.
Yeah. Well, it's about people
Absolutely.
first, right? And I think if we focus on people and take care of people, the rest kind of comes together for the
Culture
most
and
part.
community, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Are you ready with your question?
I am
All
actually,
right.
yeah. Perfect, because
All right.
going back to the Roundup program, so you mentioned that right now you're donating to veterans, which is awesome. I come from a military family myself.
Nice.
Obviously, cannabis has done a huge thing for things like PTSD and things that our veterans struggle with. What other populations are you focusing on in your community?
Yeah, specifically for Hanna and Dutchie, we're trying to focus locally.
Okay.
So we're working with Arizona Helping Hands. We're working with Tom's Palms. They do a lot of water drives, especially during the summer. As we know, that can be an issue in Arizona. We're working with some sexual assault and human trafficking support groups as well. But really, we try and keep that focus on Arizona because everything we do is in Arizona. We want to be providing, help and support to those people that are in our backyard and, coming in and visiting our stores.
Awesome.
And that legacy will go outside of Arizona one day. You guys aren't outside of Arizona as a brand yet.
Correct. Yeah, and that will come. And I think for us right now, it's about building a really solid foundation that we can be extremely confident in and really proud of and excited about. And we're very close to that, and I'm excited to see, kind of how things unfold over the next couple of years.
I've heard about Dutchie before,
Yeah.
but is it considered a bigger company? Do you guys have a number of employees?
So Dutchie's actually the #1 selling pre-roll in Arizona. Been around since 2016. we just launched our Dutchie Infused. So there's that for you. That's infused with live resin from
A gift.
Yeah, from Cannabis.
It's an empty box at MJBizCon.
Great packaging, though, I will say.
Uncle Mike, why don't you throw this away?
Get rid of that. But yeah, I do want to say, in general, we love Arizona. I come from Colorado. I was in the cannabis industry up there for a while, since about 2015.
Okay.
And Arizona right now reminds me of Colorado 5 years ago. And I love it. It's so exciting. Everybody's super active, engaged, passionate. There's events going on all the time. Thank you, Dimitri. There's always something to do, and people always want to converse and grow and work together. So big shout out to Arizona. It's an incredible community, awesome people that are, I think, here for the right reasons.
Amazing.
That's awesome to hear.
I think a lot of people would prefer if there wasn't a lot of interaction, but you guys do prefer
I love it.
interaction.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thrive on it. We need it.
Some people do. So what's next for you guys? You said you're.
What do you
you're
mean,
working-
what's next? There's a MITA golf tournament next week.
Oh, look at this.
There is.
No, I didn't set him up for that. No, but like, as a company, you're going to focus on, and I like this because I think you guys are one of the brands. There's a lot of other companies that come in and want to do pre-rolls in Arizona, and you knock them down because you're better, and eventually Arizona will get known for Dutchie, and you guys will migrate to New York and into California and all those other states, and that to me is really exciting because you guys are competing. You're not afraid of competition.
Yep.
You're winning, and one day you're going to be one of these big brands that's exported out of our jurisdiction.
Yeah. I mean, well, look, we'd be happy to work with everybody, and the way that we see it, we hope that we can become leaders, and do things the right way, show people how it could be done, and how good this industry could be. That's why the terpene focus was really important to us. We want to start pushing a lot more education, and we don't want to be the only ones providing terpene information. There's a few other brands out there doing similar things right now, but we want everyone to hop on board. We think it's important that we work together. So yeah, crush the competition, but more importantly, lead the competition.
This is beautiful packaging. Where'd you get it?
Good question. Incredible branding and PR agency called the Ninth Block actually designed that. They're out of Denver. Good guys. I might know them.
So DIZPOT isn't manufacturing this?
No, but we could have a conversation.
What?
I think we should.
Yeah, I only mentioned the design. When it comes to manufacturing, there's a conversation there. So
I'm glad I created that uncomfortable moment. That's nice. See, that's how we do business development too.
that's right.
I like that. No, but I'm rooting for you guys. I always have and I always will.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
There's a few of these, about 8 or 10 of you from Arizona Timeless, Bake Pros, and the competition keeps coming in. You keep knocking them back. And even though we're not that competitive market, I prefer competitive markets because it refines the quality of the product. There's going to be some great brands coming out of Oregon, because there's 5,000 pre-roll companies competing with each other. So you got to constantly evolve your packaging, you got to evolve your product, your quality control, everything over and over and over again. You got to constantly reinvent yourself because there's 5,000 people. There's a few hundred in Arizona, and those others migrate in, then Dutchie knocks them down. So it says something about you guys are beating like the big dogs that are coming in from California and stuff.
I mean, I'll tell you, it used to be easy, and that sounds crazy, but it used to be about fighting to get on the shelf, and once you're on the shelf, you're good. Mm-hmm. It's very different in Arizona. Everything changed over the last couple of years, and now it's about fighting to stay on the shelf.
Yeah.
And so, we're out there all the time. We want to be partners with our people. We want to be present, active, engaged, because it's not like it used to be. And if you want to keep being the leader and keep, hopefully staying on top of the competition, got to be extremely proactive nowadays.
Yeah, and it's tough, but that's how it should be because ultimately, and ultimately that will benefit the patient and the consumer with a higher quality product. Mm-hmm. So that's fantastic. I mean,
that's right.
So I know that you mentioned that you guys want to be the leaders when it comes to this industry. You've mentioned the steps about terpenes, like that you guys are really focused on terpenes and talking about it. What other things are you doing as opposed to your competition that's really setting you above them?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think, first and foremost, we place a focus on product quality. It's extremely important to us. We just released our first infused product. We're not infusing it with distillate. We're not coating it in keef to hide impurities. we're giving it to you straight. That's 100% whole flower from our indoor Dutchie grow up in Chino, Arizona. And we use live resin from Cannabis, very clean, very high quality. I think that's super important because for us, we understand that most people, while they may not be able to tell you right away the difference in quality in cannabis, once they use it, they understand.
Right.
And so we want to give them a product that they just love, and we keep them coming back. That's why we love giving out samples,
Right.
because we hope and know that you're going to love this product and you'll come back around. So.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go take my lunch break right after this.
Can I join?
Yeah, you sure can.
With this empty package. Well, that's cool. Well, we love having you. How's MJBizCon been for you?
It's been great. We always love coming out here. And now that MITA continues to have a bigger and bigger presence, I feel like more and more of our people are around and it just becomes more fun. But yeah, we've been able to connect with a lot of old friends, meet a lot of good new folks. And it seems like overall this year, the general attitude and excitement is increased. It's lifted from last year. I think there's a little less people here this year, but more people that are a little more excited and engaged for what's next. So it's a good sign.
Yeah, it seems like that there's a lot less like looky-loos and a lot more people who are actually involved in the marketplace, like you are here.
And it all changed quickly this year. I remember I was at Benzinga in Miami in April, and everybody was like, the world's on fire. Everything's over. Pack up your bags, go home. And then we were in Chicago for Benzinga a few months ago. Completely different. Sunshine and rainbows, everything's exciting. We're coming back to life. It's like those things were 6 months apart,
Yeah.
not even. But it's cool. I think it's been a really good and exciting year for everybody.
It goes in waves.
It sure
Yeah, it
does,
really
and
does.
it always will.
So yeah, you just got to kind of avoid that. Turn off CNN. Sorry, everybody knows I just hate CNN. It's all over my Instagram, my Facebook, and stuff.
I just hate the news.
Well, they're destroying journalism, but that's a whole nother podcast. And this is not journalism. This is just information. We don't claim to be objective or anything like that, or members of the Fourth Estate. Doesn't matter. So how do people get in touch with you? How do people find you? What's the best way to?
Yeah, great question. HannaDispensaries.com. Again, 2 stores in Arizona, and then the DutchieBrand.com. You can obviously follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff at Dutchie Arizona. But yeah, if you haven't tried us, come find me.
He's handing out samples.
Nope, no, I'm not. Not here.
Not here.
Not here. But come find me.
It's a strange thing here.
I will find you at MITA.
Any closing thoughts or closing questions?
Not really any closing questions, but I guess just to say thank you for what you're doing for the Arizona community and the industry. It's really inspiring to hear just how much that you are wanting to push forward and keep the ball rolling in a really positive and fruitful direction for the industry.
We couldn't do it without our people in Arizona. Hey, and you were supposed to say, I'm going to hit you up about that package there next
I will.
week.
Yes. Well, look at that. I like
Don't
that.
you worry about that.
And when we take DIZPOT for everything you guys do too as well. Any closing thoughts?
No, I think it was just really great to learn about your company a little bit more and what it is that you guys are doing. I think it's phenomenal that you guys are so invested into terpenes and really letting people understand what good quality is as opposed to other bad qualities. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate y'all
I
having
think
me.
we're ready to turn her loose on her own.
Be careful.
She is ready.
All right, we're gonna do that at the next episode of MITA Unshackled to hear from MJBizCon 2023. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.